Welcome to the MemberWise Best Practice series. This video is brought to you today by the MemberWise Network, the leading free-to-join best practice network for membership and association professionals. We hope that you enjoy this great presentation, and for further information about our growing network, please visit www.memberwise.org.uk.
Good afternoon, guys. As Rob mentioned, Richard has mentioned, my name is Kieran and I'm from an organisation called Hive. What Hive aspires to be is the kind of global professional network for people working in the creative industries. We did first launch it in March 2015, and we've had some success in building up a nice large kind of membership base. So what I thought would be useful today would be kind of to chat to you through some of the tactics we've used over that kind of initial 12 months to get people through the door using the site and engaging with us. I'll initially talk about kind of a little bit about the background, and then kind of how, after 12 months of trying this mass engagement, how we're starting to evolve our offering. So the first thing I'll do is I'll play a quick video.
Hive is a professional network for the creative industries. A 75,000 strong community that's growing fast. Award winners and emerging talent working across the full spectrum of creative disciplines. A destination to discover or promote courses and full-time job opportunities. A place for individuals and companies to showcase work and network with collaborators. A digital platform connecting creative professionals with opportunities to pitch for paid work and clients with access to amazing talent. Brief Hive, and in return you get a selection of high-quality creative proposals from our community. The process is simple. Hive acts as an agency, providing a safe pair of hands, ensuring projects are delivered on time, to budget and exceed expectations. Launched in 2015, Hive is a not-for-profit tasked with developing and supporting all things creative, backed by some of the most influential business leaders in the creative industries. As such, we're trusted by many of the world's leading brands. Welcome to Hive.
That gives you a feel of what Hive is. But one thing we did when we did start our journey of building Hive back in kind of the summer of 2014 was we actually failed pretty spectacularly in terms of coming up with the product. I've heard a number of speakers talk about kind of knowing your audience, and this is really, really important because we really failed at the first hurdle. Like, we built this prototype first, and it's gross. It's absolutely disgusting. Like, this was a profile page. There's so much dead space. There's no information. This was our homepage. It's supposed to be a creative website. It looks like you're going to open up a bank account. It's absolutely disgusting looking. So what we didn't do was we didn't get to know our audience. But we realized it pretty straight away as soon as we started looking at these designs, and they were pretty damn ugly. We thought, like, let's really get to know our user base. And who do we want as our members? And we wanted 3 types of members. So we wanted creatives, so we knew that they wanted opportunities to kind of show off how talented they were, or opportunities to pitch for work or get a full-time job. We knew that creative businesses are pretty time poor and they want the best talent and they don't want to have to search very hard to find it. And we know that people who are training people want bums on seats. They want to get their courses filled. In the creative industries, course providers are really big because you have a huge amount of freelancers and you have a lot of micro companies. So they don't often have huge training budgets to be able to go on these training courses. So kind of any kind of platform that's able to showcase these courses is going to be really, really useful. So kind of with that in mind of what the kind of key audience was and what their motivation was, then we kind of attacked the build in a lot more kind of strategic way. So for the individuals, it's all about kind of this rich profile, because everyone knows LinkedIn, and LinkedIn's fantastic for what it does. But in the creative industries, words on a page just doesn't suffice. I need to be able to show my video content, my scripts, my music, whatever medium it is for me. So what we did was we wanted to create a really beautiful profile that allowed me to bring everything from my professional creative me into one central space. So we asked for basic information. You can bring in your LinkedIn, you can add your CV. But then we started to ask them to feature certain work, certain social media channels or websites. And then on top of that, we take data around what job level they're at, what industry they're in, and what kind of skill sets they have. So with that kind of information we're getting, then we're able to help our businesses. So our businesses want to find the best people, and they don't want to have to search very hard for it. So we're taking all the data from our members as they come in, knowing kind of what level they're at, what skills they have, what their profiles are. So for instance, BuzzFeed UK last week, they came to us on Friday evening. We're doing this shoot on Tuesday in central London. I need a really good photographer. I need a really good hair and makeup person. Obviously, proactively, they can pay for their job, put it on, and get applications. But what they can do, because we've got all the data there, is they can go into their match talent section, put in what they're looking for, and then proactively find people on Hive that match that job specification and start going after them straight away. Similarly, as I said, courses just need to get in front of people. They need to let people know that their course is available. So what we do is, as soon as someone sets up a course on Hive and they start to put in the data in terms of the skill sets that people will get from taking their courses, if they pay 50 quid, what we do is we'll send out an email to every single member on Hive that wants to learn that skill to let them know that their course is available, and that email goes out at 9 a.m. the following morning. So obviously when you launch something for the very first time, trying to get those initial users through the door can be really daunting, and it's quite a tough task. The one thing I would say for anyone who's starting things from start, really put a bit of effort into your organic social media channels. So often you kind of want to see which of your target audience, what social media channels they're on. For us, the principal ones we use are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. But when you start from scratch, you're obviously going to have 0 likes, 0 followers. Put some time into putting content on those channels. It's not going to be magical overnight, but the fact is all those channels have legacy. So once you put that content up once, it's always going to be there. Start to make those conversations, and that little bit of engagement will start to turn into a bigger engagement. So for us, we also...
Whether you love your job or you have mixed feelings, most of us have to deal with the commute. We here at Hive are fascinated by how you lot get around, and here's your chance to show us. In the interests of science, get out your phone and shoot a vine of your journey to your workplace. If you're not already signed up to Hive, grab an account on hive.co.uk, as well as making sure you're on Vine too. It can be funny, tragic, or mysterious and experimental. Our panel of expert judges will pick their favourite on the 28th of November. The winner gets immortalised as the first Hive commute artist, which means we'll get you one of those new GoPros. So, sign up or sign in to Hive and join the Cockfosters 87 Swarm. Yes, we did pick the name because it made us giggle. Hit the members tab and join the competition group. Now you can add your Vine to the media pool and receive adoration from freelancers and companies from across the UK. A few terms and conditions apply, which you can find at the Cockfosters 87 Swarm. And that's it. If you're still looking for your dream job in the creative sector, then Hive is where you should start. Maybe you'll get to work from home instead.
Tactic we use when we need to get our first couple of users to the door. Similarly, the way that Richard has all those great prizes attached to those businesses. Having kind of prizes attached at the start gets loads of people through the front door. In this case, we had GoPros up on offer. We also ran a thing called the Innovators Fund, where we funded 10 different projects for £500 that we believe we're going to go somewhere. So what that happens is you obviously get lots of people coming onto your site, creating content, putting their ideas on there, and also there's also a ripple effect of people see the content, they like it, they share it. We also engaged social influencers on our channel. So what we did was we looked at people as they signed up and added their social media channels and looked how big of an influence they had on those channels. So what we did was, particularly with kind of large YouTubers, we would work with them on creating content and then feeding into their networks to let them know about Hive, and then in that way we get more new users coming through. Events was actually very good for us in the first 12 months. The thing that was successful for events, there were events with legacies. It just wasn't about the events on the day. It was the work you put up online before and after the event that made it successful. So for instance, this was our launch event. We crammed about 250 people into the trampoline in Shoreditch. And the idea behind the event was to give an opportunity to those breaking into the creative industries to meet some of the kind of inspirational people there in a kind of TED Talk style environment with a kind of a workshop atmosphere afterwards. So we had the likes of Caitlin Moran, we had the CEO of the British Fashion Council, one of the top people in YouTube, one of the producers from The Office. So really cool, inspirational people with lots of great stories. But we didn't want to limit it just to 250 people in the room. So we made content of everything. We tried to record everything. So we fed it out all over our YouTube channel. We fed it into press. We fed it into media. So that the event had much more of a legacy. We obviously then had the sign-up process to get tickets for the event on Hive. We made sure that all the content after the event went back on Hive. So again, you're constantly getting new users, new members coming to your site to see this content, see this exciting event. In terms of businesses, businesses are harder to convert because they tend to be bigger beasts. They can be quite big organizationally. So for us, it was a huge amount of curation and hand-holding. So what we did was we identified 2 or 3 businesses per industry that we really wanted on Hive. So we went in there, we hounded them, we sat down with them, we showed them Hive, we helped them set up their profiles. Obviously, one of the key things we did was say, look, you can post all your jobs in Hive for free for the next 6 to 7 months. That obviously creates a beautiful circle because they're pretty happy to send out free jobs, and then obviously individuals want to get access to lots of jobs. So you've got a nice continuation. But the thing with businesses, you do have to put a lot more effort in making those emails, having those meetings, having those coffees, showing them the system, and helping them set up those initial pages. When it came to the course providers, obviously having a platform to have free courses. But we did things like we introduced a rate and review system because they wanted to be quite competitive against each other. So this kind of concept of TripAdvisor for creative courses, where people started to rate how their experience was, and that influenced where they were seen within Hive. So now, across the year, we did lots of different things. Some worked, some didn't. So now what I'm going to show is some of the kind of tactics that I thought were pretty useful and again, might be useful for you guys going forward. A small base. You want to kind of get involved in that network effect. So what I mean by that is a couple of the early stage partnerships we did. We partnered up with British Fashion Council during Fashion Week. We partnered up with the British Film Institute. So say BFI wanted to create loads of events for young filmmakers. We had lots of young filmmakers and they had access to free space to the BFI. We knew people who made video content were attached to bands. So what we said was we'll put on a free video or free event in the BFI. We'll get loads of bands down there talking about how they make music videos. Being able to tap into all those different newsletters and social media channels means you get access to so many different people. The biggest partnership we did in the last 12 months was with Sky. So Sky Academy want to get involved with 18 to 30-year-olds who want to pursue a career in the creative and cultural spaces. Funnily enough, we've lots of them on our site, and we can help them with this. So we put together the Sky Academy Art Scholarships with them, and I'll play you a short video which kind of showcases what the program was all about.
For me, the Sky Academy Scholarship Programme really is a game changer. It gives the most incredible leg up to people with talent and an opportunity which they would never get from anywhere else.
It gave me the opportunity to get a proper studio, to move out of my bedroom, which was amazing.
I mean, these are artists, they're fantastic at writing and making movies or music. I'm a marketing guy, so what I can do is give 22 years of experience for them in a very concise way, and I think that's the bit that I find most exciting.
It's a good calling card. It enables them to be seen by more people and to open a few more doors.
It's good to know that you're not doing it completely wrong, I guess, when you're a young artist and you're trying to do something. You're like, is this a stupid idea or is this all right? It's like, no, it's a good idea, man, it's cool.
It really has changed my life, actually. And with the support and the mentoring, you know, it just gives you that lift, and then you can just go like that.
When you won this scholarship, what's it meant to you?
It's meant the world. The doors that it opens, if you email someone and you say, I'm a Sky Academy Art Scholar, they say, yes, that sounds fantastic. Just having that bit of weight and that punch behind you, you can't underestimate.
The scholarship has been a big break for me because it is allowing me to basically set up my own company. Mentoring is amazing. The people at Sky are amazing. I give myself a pat on the back saying, yeah, well done.
It's going to give people courage. It's going to give people support. It's going to allow them to take risks. So I think it's extraordinary, really.
So the next thing that I thought was really important that we did over that 12-month period was content creation. So the big buzzword at the moment is content is the new form of advertising. And I definitely buy into that hype. We kind of came up with a couple of ideas that we could make some really cool content with some of the creatives that were coming onto our platform. And after making that content, not only did we get lots of engagement on our own website and our own social media channels, but they went further afield. So for example, in this slide here, we have what's called What's in Your Top Drawer. So we identified a couple of kind of creatives on our platform, from fashion designers, videographers, that we wanted to work with. So we went along to their studios or their workplaces, and we asked them to open up their top drawer and lay out the kind of the tools of their trade and talk us through the process. And then once we published this, this was ended up being the front cover of the Drum magazine, for instance, and lots of other kind of media publications really liked it. And then the hashtag What's in Your Top Drawer started. So then on our Twitter feed and on social media, everyone started opening up their drawers and photographing what was inside. But it was just a way of kind of creating content that led to a lot more people coming to Hive than, say, if I just took out a random ad. Another thing is we hired an artist called Chris, the Simpsons artist. We said, look, we work across these creative disciplines. Can you kind of come up with something that talks about these disciplines? And he came up with all these different little funny graphics. And they went down so well on social media. We had this it has unbelievable effect. So in one day, he had 14,400 people coming to one page on Hive alone, just because he was creating these little images that just managed to resonate with so many people in those industries. And again, you're then getting picked up in all these different publications all around the UK and further afield. And all because you're making a piece of content that connects with so many people. But at the end of the day, that's how they're finding out at Hive. And that piece of content doesn't die. It lives on all these social media channels. So still, I'm getting notifications on my Twitter and on Facebook of people finding that article or sharing it for the very first time. I think paid activity is something that we definitely engaged in and was super helpful. And I don't know what kind of size of people's marketing budgets are in the room, but for me, if your budget, say, in the 0 to 100,000 space, then you kind of have to be a lot more tactical in terms of where you put that paid spend. Everyone today has talked about newsletters and the importance of them, and I think I could not agree more. They've been the absolute workhorse in terms of letting people know what's on Hive. The two big e-marketers out there are MailChimp and .mailer. I don't see much difference between the two of them. We use .mailer ourselves. But when it comes to e-marketing, you guys as membership organizations definitely track huge amounts of data on your members. We started using that to our advantage. Initially, we were kind of blasting out everyone at once, but it's definitely worth your interest doing all these kind of targeted blasts so that when we get a brief or a job or a course, that we can make it really specific to a region, an age group, a skill set. And having kind of spending some time on your newsletter and really working it is really, really effective. I think social media advertising is number one place I would put my spend. I think Facebook is by far the most effective in that space. The reason I say that is because Facebook is probably the one channel where you've given the most amount of data as a member throughout the years. So when you go onto the kind of the Facebook advertising platform, you can really get very specific at who you're looking at, which means you don't actually have to put huge amounts of money against it because your money goes so much further. So for example, one of our clients is a big university and they were launching an MBA for the creative industries for the very first time. The cost of doing that is £35,000. So it's a huge, huge course. So not everyone's going to have that. But you can turn to Facebook to find these people much more easily. So what I can do is I can start targeting creative cities in the UK, at Bristol, at Manchester, at London, or further afield, at Berlin, at Barcelona, Paris. I can then target against job title, a film producer, TV exec, creative director. I can say this person's probably going to read The Guardian, or they might read the Financial Times, they might like James Corden. And then as you're putting these verticals in, you can actually track it along the way. Great, I got a really low cost per website click against James Corden, I'm keeping him in the game. Or I'm going to sub him out, put a different person in. You can be so smart when it comes to Facebook advertising. Twitter, you hear about they're not really able to make a commercial success of their monitoring platform. However, Twitter is the best platform organically because it's so open. You should always be tweeting, and that's how you get discovered. But if you do want to get into spending with Twitter, it can be very effective when you are doing your promoted tweets and your targeting, because you'll find you get more bang for buck in terms of new followers in versus new likes with Facebook. So if you are looking to kind of build your Twitter following, you do get value there. Instagram are pretty new to the game in terms of the advertising market, but because they're new, they open the reach up loads. It's like when Facebook launched something new, like their video platform. You've got a huge amount more reach when you put a video on Facebook. So similarly, when you are advertising on Instagram, you're going to get a lot of reach, but you won't get as high a better cost per website click than Facebook. However, if you think about how you use Instagram, you go on there to see really cool videos, really cool images, or funny content. So if your advert is not taking one of those three boxes, there's no point in putting it on Instagram because no one's going to click it or want to see it. For me, YouTube is definitely the video platform to be on. Vimeo is always perceived as the cool, edgier one, which is true. But if I want my video to be discovered, then YouTube wins kind of every day of the week for me. I think working with publications, specifically industry-specific publications, can be really beneficial, but you must try and get the link in back to your website because that's where the value is. So we did some great work with the likes of Creative Block, and we still see from our Google Analytics huge traffic coming in from these thought leadership pieces. However, so say that what's in your top drawer that went on Mail Online, which is awesome for SEO. If someone types in Hive and Mail Online, it's number one, but I don't have a link in there, so I'm not getting that traffic forevermore. And as I talked about, setting budget aside to run competitions is a really effective way of getting people to the door. And for me, if you're not in a big budget marketing space, if you can't track what your spend is, I think it's a big risk. You look at, say, a tube ad downstairs on the tube in those carousels, that will cost you between 12 and 14 grand, depending on what you're negotiating, and they're in and out in 2 weeks because they're so popular. But you don't really know how to track it unless you're running a competition or a code off it. There is a bit of value sometimes if you go on the overground. You can get a bit for about 4 grand, and they don't change them as often. And I don't know whether it was just us, but there's definitely a bus in Bristol that's been going around for a year with a Hive ad on it, so you can definitely get value on that. PR stunts, they're really, really good. Everyone knows when Christmas is coming, Halloween is coming, so obviously we knew April Fool's was coming, so we changed Hive to Five, the professional network for former band members of Five, and how you could get down to funk. So it was just a punt. It took us 2 minutes to do it up in InDesign, but marketing managers, marketing magazines, they love this stuff. Who's the top 10 brands who've done April Fool's today? And it's easy to kind of get wins. Everyone's talked about data. You can really use it from a PR perspective. You can really get a lot out of it. So for us, we kind of looked at all the kind of random stuff people were adding into Hive and how could we settle into media. So one of the things was like people were adding the most bizarre skills. I think I've written a few of them down here. And so then we put it into press, some of the weird skills people said when they were applying for jobs. So you can see being a human being, which is one. My personal favorite is painfully intense songwriting, write good, embellishment, body double, curiosity, caring, and finger snapping were some of the more odd ones. Anyone want to hazard a guess at what the most creative name in the UK is? No? James. But it's just obviously looking at the frequency of profiles coming onto Hive and selling it in as the top 10 most creative names. But yeah, using your data in that way cleverly, it doesn't cost you anything to do, and you can get a huge amount of your brand message and discoverability out of it. You saw what's in your top drawer earlier on. We did a celebrity edition, and it went bloody everywhere. So anyone hazard a guess what celebrity drawer that is? Peter Parker, yes. Bridget Jones, yes, very good. This then was really, really important. The whole 12 months was rewarding your users. So obviously it's fantastic. They've actually signed up and become members of your profile. That's awesome. So you want to be able to say thanks for obviously very much for signing up to your profile, but you want to encourage good behavior. So you want people to make really, really ace profiles or cool company pages. So what we do every Tuesday is we have editors' picks, and that's where we highlight 5 of the top users, 5 of the top companies, or 5 of the top groups. And we go, check out these profiles, and then we'll take their Twitter handles, their Facebook pages, tag them in it, and they'll go, oh my God, thank you so much for picking me. And then they'll retweet it, and you'll get that beautiful ripple effect. And then at the end of the month, we'll pick 4 people, and we'll do a ones-to-watch interview with them. And again, it works really, really nicely. And what we've started now is a video series called Spotlight Series, where we go out to some of our creatives and businesses and profile themselves. And it's not really, it's content creation. It's not advertisement. It's just showing them in their environment. So I'm just going to play a quick video of that.
My name is Alexandra. I'm 22 years old, and I started up Acoustic Live UK with my business partner Kwaku 3 years ago now. So it's essentially, we keep changing what it is really. It's a movement, it's a lifestyle, it's basically a live events company, and it's all about creating a platform for young people in London.
The exhilarating place in which you want. First place I was a part of the game, just objects you weigh.
Everybody's welcome, all ages. We've had 12-year-olds, 40-year-olds. It's literally like a platform, but we do try and focus on like youth, because I think it's really important to like provide a platform for people who are coming up rather than people who may already have the means to like get their music out there. Any genre, we've had literally rap, rock, hip hop, R&B, indie, like literally every genre. So we're booked all the way through summer. Right now, every single Sunday, we have about 5 or 6 different artists in rotation. I've been doing PR for about 4 years now. I started with a PR company like round the corner from here, and then I moved on to a different one called Approved PR. That was kind of just like an internship, so I wasn't actually getting paid for it, but it was really good. Like, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. If you want to get into PR, I'd say definitely do internships, like internships galore, because these days it's all about experience. Not that degrees don't count, because they obviously do, but I think experience is really important. If you don't have the experience, it's harder. Like, with me, I'm like a person who can learn on the job. So my degree alone, I wouldn't say it wasn't enough. Like, I did learn a lot, but it wasn't enough. Like, the internships really taught me how to be hands-on. So yeah, I'd say definitely bang out all the internships you can that relate to what you want to do. Don't just do like, don't do sports if you want to be in like music. That doesn't make sense. But like, yeah, definitely bang out internships.
Showcase them. It's proved a kind of effective way. The next thing I suppose kind of just to finish the session on is I think you constantly need to evolve your offering in terms of what you're offering the membership base, but also what you can do as a business. We've certainly learned in that first 12 months there's stuff we did that was crap, we'll get rid of that, but there's some stuff that we can evolve and do better. So kind of now this is the landscape, this is in terms of these are the members we have, these are the businesses we operate in. But what's really exciting for us now is we've got these 75,000 amazing creatives, and we've got these businesses really hungry to work with them. So they're coming to us and say, we've got this brief, we want to launch this product, we want to do this marketing campaign, we want to make this social media video, we want this graphic. And we go, yeah, great, let's make this happen. So we'll use the power of collective intelligence. We'll take that brief, we'll feed it out to all our network, or a subset of our network, we'll get the ideas back, we'll talk to the brand, and then we'll start to commission those best ideas. So Hive's turned into this kind of huge, giant production agency, which is really, really exciting. But if we hadn't done all that mass engagement to try to get all those people in, we would never have been able to do that. And then similarly, events. So what we've noticed is we now have lots of people, and people need access to people when you're putting on events. So what we've done is we've built a kind of Eventbrite within Hive, whereby you can kind of create your event and advertise to the community, let them know about your event and get them involved. And obviously, from our perspective, we want our members to know about all the exciting events that are happening in the creative space. So I suppose thank you very much for taking your time to listen to me. I hope some of those tactics might have been helpful for you guys, and I'll be around later on if anyone has any questions or anything.
Well, what I'd like to do, if that's okay, Kieran, we've got we're supposed to have 10 minutes of move time, but I'm a bit conscious that everyone's in here. So what I thought would be really good. First off, has anyone got any questions for Kieran? Come on. So I would say there's a reason why I've kept your session to last. I think people in the room can probably realise that now. In terms of, say, the traditional membership bodies that we've got, are we kind of looking at this and thinking, oh my God, yeah? So maybe you want to think about that. Is it, Amanda, have you got a question?
Fabulous presentation, Kieran.
Thanks, Amanda.
My name's Amanda.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Go.
So my name's Amanda, CPD Standards Office. Oh, I think I might just chuck this way. So amazing progress. You know, fabulous. I mean, going from, you know, what's it, 0 to hero. Where did you start? You said that you've got members that were creatives and businesses. You know, when you sort of started your journey, who did you talk to first? Who did you engage first? Because you've done so much, partnerships, all sorts of things. So just wondering what, you know, where those very first steps were.
I suppose what we did was we kind of identified some of the biggest industries in the creative industries, so things like film, TV, advertising and fashion. And then we started building user personas in terms of the people that would work in those industries, the people that had businesses in those industries. And we identified what their motivations were as a human, but also what their motivations were when interacting on a website platform. And then what we did was we built user groups of those individuals. We had a business steering group and we had a course provider steering group. And what we do is we take some of the designs after we made those disgusting ones and started to really work with them. And then what we did was then we realized that we needed to get those individuals in first. So we spent some money on working with YouTubers or people that were influencers in their creative industries. So they would make content with them and they would talk to their networks about us. So we get their kind of fans or followers in the door. Then we would go to a BBC, a Sky, a Facebook, Google, hound them, get them signed up, and then have their jobs there so that people who want to work at a Facebook, a Google, a BBC, a Sky will start to come onto the site naturally. And then what we did was we started to profile some of the cool courses that were happening. We work people like Roundhouse who do really, really cool courses in that kind of creative cultural space. And then on a knock-on effect of that, you've got people who want to then see their courses in there. So I suppose to summarize, we try to segment into the various different industries and the people that made up those industries, sense-checked that what we proposed to build made sense, and then went and did it.
Okay, I mean, one of the things that I'm seeing, certainly with what you're doing, and I think this is one of the themes that will come out of the day, is targeted content. The right context, the right content to the right people at the right time. Is that kind of an ethos that you've got?
I mean, obviously it's nice being in this environment because you can cherry pick the best bits throughout the year, but I wish we could produce way more content, because the more stuff you create, the more of the random requests you get to start working with you. So we're still on that journey of trying to make really, really great content. But again, just don't take an advertising approach to it. Take it from a consumer point of what would I like to see, or what would I like to read or watch. And I think that's the mantra we try to put into anything we make or partner with.
Okay. Have we got any more questions from the floor? Okay, I'll just go to the back, Richard. Just bear with me a second. There you go.
Hi, Richard Lamb, National Landlords Association. Just looking at, can I just ask, how many people do you have working on this, and what were the kind of budget you were playing with? And do you think that the fact that this is free to join and use made a massive difference to the speed of growth?
In relation to the free to join to use, yes. I think it had to be free to join to use because we needed mass engagement, and trying to charge something for something that's not proven, it's fresh in the market. I just don't think you could have taken a different approach to it. I also think with kind of mass networks, it's very hard to have a pay model at the user level unless you're in a kind of a niche or specialism area. In terms of the size of the team that we currently have, we have 7 people. We have 2 fantastic developers from an agency called Technical Labs in Coventry. I will not say more and speak more highly of them. They're absolutely fantastic. And then in 2015, we worked on off with a PR company. We were very fortunate and still are very fortunate to sit within the creative skill set offices. So creative skill set are a skills body for the creative industries as a whole. So we're fortuitous in terms of being able to work with creative skill set and take advantage of their networks as well. In terms of size of budgets, in terms of what went into the build, you're talking about 6-figure sum.
Okay, is that what you expected, Richard?
In terms of budget, yes. In terms of people, no, I thought there'd be more. And I can see if you're going from zero to try and get mass engagement, then the free option is the way to do it. I think those of us who are already established, it's how we get that range of involvement when your primary resource is the subscription. And that's,
I suppose you got to look at what hooks you can offer people that aren't already subscribed to kind of get them in and show them the goodness of whatever.
The other thing I'm thinking about is that one of the issues we're starting to try and deal with at the moment is how long can the subscription model survive, and should we be thinking about how we progress to a non-subscription based organisation and how we make the organisation sustainable if we're not charging people £80 a year to be a member.
Yeah, I suppose experimentation is where you want to start and look at other revenue sources, but I think what's probably quite pragmatic is trying to identify 1, maybe 2, and really go at them as opposed to trying to put your fingers in every buy.
Okay, any more questions for Kieran whilst we've got him on stage? Okay, well, on behalf of the conference, Kieran, really thank you for your session. I think it was one of the, for me, freshest of today, and we'll be obviously following your progress with a lot of interest. So thank you to Kieran. If you could give him a round of applause, please.
Thanks very much, Dominic.